Ludwig Motors of Pottstown, the only place a guy with my experience would go to buy a new car. Ludwig Motors has a whole bunch of quality Chrysler, Plymouth, and Dodge cars and trucks, and they have a friendly, experienced sales staff who make the best deals around. That means more dollars in the old piggy bank. And service after the sale? We'll never have to worry about that. The guys at Ludwig Motors are the best. Look at them. They can fix anything. And if it's not right the first time, we get our money back. So it's Ludwig Motors. For a car you'll be proud to put your car seat in. And service that'll make you smile.
Hi, I'm Mike Yanessa. Welcome to another episode of Car Stories. We are here at 3rd and Hanover Street in Pottstown at the former Ludwig Motors building. Wait till you see what they've done with this place. As we all know, Pottstown was rich in automobile history, and the last dealership to close up in the borough of Pottstown in 2008 was Dame Chevrolet, which is my building at 525 East High Street. Chevrolet dealership, Oldsmobile, Studebaker, we all know that, but that's where we currently do business. But somewhere around 2000, I believe, Ludwig Motors closed up, and they actually bought the franchise and moved it over to Norco, and this became an auction house for years. But now, we're here today, and we're going to give you a tour of Ludwig Motors and tell you what's going on. It's a really nice place to store your car. It's a club, and the memorabilia is unbelievable. So stay tuned for another episode of Car Stories. So here we are in what used to be the service bays at Ludwig Motors, and years ago it was called Krause and Ludwig, and it was a Chrysler, Dodge, Bricklin, Triumph dealer for many years. And now Chuck is going to tell you what it is now. Chuck, tell us what's going on here at this historic building at 3rd and Hanover in Pottstown.
Okay, thank you, Mike.
Yep.
So we took over this building about a year ago?
Is that about right?
About a year ago. And we sat on it for about 6 months.
That's about right.
Is that fair?
Yep.
And then we decided to pull the trigger on an idea and a dream that I've had for a long time, which is a private car club housing my private collection and bringing this level of a collection and space and man cave to a kind of regular guy. So what we are now is Red Horse Motoring Club. We're a private car club.
So people come and join your club.
Yep.
They can hang out here.
Yep.
You're going to show us some of the amenities that they can do.
Yep.
Or they can store their car here and hang out here.
True.
Or their collection here.
Yep. You could store a car here. You could store a motorcycle here. Or what seems to be the best option for a lot of people is become a social member.
Okay.
So for $100 a month, you
Right.
become a member of Red Horse Motoring Club, and this entire building becomes yours.
Oh.
So,
Okay.
the concept is, I'm in the car world, I'm in the antique world, I have a lot of clients, wealthy clients, and they have buildings like this.
Right.
They have $1 million buildings, and they have $1 million collections, and we don't get to see that often.
No, it's
And
private.
It's
Yep.
private, and we don't get to enjoy it often.
Right.
So my dream was to bring something of this level to the regular guy, maybe a guy that's got one Camaro that's been in his family forever, or maybe he's just an enthusiast and he hasn't bought his first car yet, but he's doing all right in life and he wants to be a part of this
community, right.
group of people,
Yeah.
and that's what we built here.
We understand that. That's really a cool concept. You got to remember, I was here 6-7 months ago, and it was just a structure that had many problems. And these guys, Steve over here and the crew and everyone else, put this whole thing together. Climate controlled, it's air conditioned, it's clean. It's just unbelievable in a short time what they've done with this building here. So, Steve, like, what was some of the challenges? I mean,
Yeah, I mean, you already said it. You know, we came in, there was a few leaks in the roof.
Right.
We had the waste oil burnt heaters still, no central air running. Units are about, I don't know, 30 years old, hadn't been started in a long time. So we started at the first problem, repairing the roof. You know, converted
keeping the
it-
water out.
Absolutely. Keeping the car safe, controlling the environment was a goal for us, obviously. So we converted to central air throughout the building, replaced all the natural gas.
Okay.
You know, took out the old dirty waste oil heaters.
So your car will be in a climate-controlled building that's heated and cooled, which is important. If you have a valuable car, it should be in this type of environment.
So along with that, we brought in some, security options. We have a full, security system on the building. We've got cameras looking over the entire building, so you can view your vehicles as you're on vacation, you're at home, sitting anywhere.
Okay, so you can do the cell phone thing and
Absolutely.
check on your baby. And
For that, we
Cool.
took it a little step further. We're putting a biometric scanner on the door. I don't know
Okay.
if it's important to you, but it means that nobody can take your key fob and get in the building without you there.
Oh, wow. That's really cool.
Security is a real key for us here.
Yes.
Along with that, we obviously painted. We went through the building, updated some electric,
Sure.
changed out the carpets, made it feel like a very inviting environment that you see today.
It was. As soon as I walked in, it was like, this is just impressive. It's
Yeah.
very, very nice. So,
And then finally upstairs, we renovated the old parts department.
Right.
And what you'll find up there is a social lounge that anybody would be excited to enjoy.
okay. Well, we're going to see that soon. But first, let's take a look at the old showroom, where I remember as a kid coming to look at all the Challengers and Cudas and Dusters that were for sale. So
Yeah.
let's check it out. Wow, I can't believe I'm in the showroom of Ludwig Motors. What a difference. My sister bought a brand new 1971 Satellite wagon right here. I remember, like I said, coming here to look at the Cudas and the Dusters. A good story that the Superbirds, the Daytona cars with the big wing and the pointy nose that we see today selling for a lot of money, they couldn't sell them. I mean, a lot of people back in the 60s thought that was too extreme to drive every day, and nobody was really collecting cars like that back then. So they actually took the nose and took the wings off and sold them as satellites. And for years, the parts, the wings and noses sat in the parts room. And I just remember that as a kid. In high school, I won the Plymouth troubleshooting contest, and we came here to pick up our tools. And I remember the parts man, Dutch Smale, showed me these noses. Now, they're, I don't even know what they're worth.
I
but
wish they
people
were
would
still
pay.
here.
Yep.
Yeah.
So a lot of history in this building. I love what you've done with it. I mean, you kept most of the structure. I mean, the floor, the old, that was the area where they wrote up the bills and you picked up your car.
Yep, yep.
And now you put some of your stuff in here. So why don't you tell us, like, what is that golf,
Yep.
the golf gas pump over there?
Yep.
Is not a reproduction, right?
No, that's
a real one.
That's original Rapid Dayton visible gas
Visible?
pump,
What do we-
10 gallon.
Like 20s?
Yeah, 1920s.
20s?
Yeah,
Yeah.
20s. Yeah, so I've been an avid collector and dealer of Petrolia, which would
Yep,
be
yep.
all gas and oil.
Right.
And then automobilia too. There's kind of two camps in that world.
Okay.
And I do it both. I do the fine art sculpture.
Beautiful.
So here you see original De La Marie paintings. You see original French posters, pedal cars, all the stuff that I kind of deal in. And I started out in gas pumps.
Right.
And that was maybe 14 years ago.
Okay.
And the first gas pump I ever sold, I sold for $3,000, and I thought I hit the
How about
Powerball lottery,
Yep.
And now the Petrolia world has really come on strong since the car guys have really gotten into it over the last 8-9 years.
Okay.
For probably 2 or 3 decades, the Petrolia collecting was really just guys like me that liked gas and oil stuff.
Right.
And the car guys didn't really value it. So you'd go to multi-million-dollar collections, and they wouldn't have that stuff in there. And now, since the car guys have gotten into it and the Petrolia and automobilia has really, really gotten strong, now you go in the collections and they have $1 million worth of pumps and signs
Sure, to go
complementing,
with it. Yeah,
complementing
yeah,
their $1 million
I understand.
car collection.
Yeah.
And it really changes the room. It changes everything. I've been in collections where guys have Bugattis and Duesenbergs, and they say, "What do you think?" And I say, "Well, it's cool cars, but this is really boring."
Yeah.
And they look at me like I'm nuts. And then they trust me, and a year later, the place looks like a living museum.
real, period.
And it really
Yep.
gives it a lot of character. So,
Very nice.
yeah, so we have this part of the showroom. I'm going to be selling stuff that I deal in.
Okay.
So this will be a little bit of a retail space for Red Horse. We're going to sell classic cars, motorcycles.
Oh, so you do like
pumps.
consignment sales and stuff like
I
that?
do consignment
Nice.
sales on a smaller scale because
Yep.
I have such a big collection, and
Yeah.
and it's what I do.
Yep.
So I'll have a lot of that in here, and I have a lot of room here. So
Perfect.
plenty of room. We kept the Spanish tile. We kept all the windows. We kept
Yeah, it
the
looks
glass
basically
block.
the same. Even
Yeah.
the curtains, were they here? Or did you
No,
put-
we put those
But
up.
they had similar curtains like that back
Did they?
I believe so.
Yeah, yeah. We put
What's-
the curtains up.
What's the little car over there?
That's a 1924 Auto Redbug. It's an electric car.
Wow.
And Redbug made it, and actually Briggs and Stratton made them at some point. I don't know what different in the 20s when who bought who out. But
Right.
that's a real car that was sold in 22, and it was $300. It was as much as a Ford a car.
Wow.
And they build it, and it's so funny because it's such a scam. You know, they build it
Yeah,
as
yeah,
a car to go to work in, and
Yeah.
take your kid to school in, and it does like 4 miles an hour. So
Electric
and
car.
and that's on a really flat surface going downhill. So they scammed a bunch of people with that car, but it works. It runs perfect, and
Neat.
I drive it through here having fun.
I liked when we first came in, Chuck said everything in here is real. So nothing's reproduction.
Nothing.
Nothing's new. It's real from 1920s, 19 teens, whatever. And that's so cool. Like this thing behind me here. I've seen these, but tell me what it is.
All right. That's the Fisk Boy.
The Fisk
for
Boy?
Fisk tires.
Like it would be on the roof of a building? Or
That
what?
was the rooftop model. And,
Wow.
Yep. So they had little countertop displays that stood like this. They had medium countertop displays.
Yeah, I've seen them,
And then
but
they
not
had
this guy.
They had that big boy, and
really cool.
I've been chasing one for years. See, what happens is they were on the top of a building, and of course, when that tire company closed in 70 something or whatever, nobody cared. So they
Okay.
just dumped him off the roof, and he smashed into a million pieces and was gone.
Ah.
The rare thing about this, one, is its condition. It's in great condition. But
Oh, my.
two, is that's the original tire. And you rarely find them with the original tire still intact. And I bought that off the family that took it off the building over 30 years ago up in Grand Rapids, Michigan. And I just bought it last year.
Nice.
I met the guy at Hershey, Hershey,
Okay.
the swap meet of all
Yep.
swap meets.
Yep.
And I met him last year, and I bought a really rare banner off him, Fisk.
Right?
And we started talking, and he said, well, I got one of those Fisk boys at home. And I said, oh, really? And I'm thinking,
Yeah.
he's got the little boy.
Yeah.
And he pulled out a picture, and oh, man.
Gotta have it.
And I made a deal
Good.
that day, and I said, look, I don't know when I'll be up. And I went up about 6 or 8 months later, and he was a good guy. And his grandfather had a really, really serious collection up in Michigan, and the grandfather passed away. And he had this in his grandfather's building, but it was his. He
Right.
took it off. And I have pictures of him and his brother taking it down in the mid-'70s.
Awesome.
Yep.
Cool.
And now he's here. Yep.
It's really
All
great.
right, so we got an old boat. We got Evinrude engines.
Yep.
There's so much more to see in the next room. So let's go there.
All right.
So now we're back behind the showroom in what used to be an office, and look at this cool picture here. At one period of time, Ludwig's took on a partner. So let's go back. 1920s, Mr. Ludwig started the business. Somewhere in the 50s, he picked up a partner, Kraus, and as a child, that's what I always knew it as, Kraus and Ludwig. But I don't know the history, but maybe one of our viewers could help us. Somewhere in the 60s, Kraus disappeared, and it became Ludwig's again. So look at this cool picture here from. Look at the phone number, 644-655. No area code, no nothing. So this is a little display that Steve put together and Chuck, honoring the Ludwig heritage here in this building. So Steve, tell us what is some of this stuff that is displayed here in this little room.
Absolutely. I mean, we have some quality dealer awards hanging up here, salesman awards throughout the company. For 92 and 93.
93, yep.
We've got some original Ludwig playing cards, anniversary playing cards, and along with that, you have an inventory list that's from, 1965.
Yep.
That's every sale
All
that
the
they
cars
made.
they had in stock.
Yeah.
You found this stuff in the building, or
Everything was
most of
left
it?
in the building, up in the attics. I mean, this building's got some nice hiding spots that
And the last
held
thing
some
you found?
treasures.
We can get this in here. There's the last thing that the guys found. How about that?
Yeah, so the 5-star, It's Better We'll Prove It award from Ludwig Motors in 1998.
So, and you said earlier that Larry Lilly had stopped in and donated his plaque over here. So if anyone out there has anything that, that's taking up space in their house and they'd like to display it here with Ludwig's keychain or poster or calendar, if you'd like to donate to a good place to honor the history right here in this building. It'd be 80 years of car dealership.
Absolutely. We would love to have it, and we would love to hear the stories and
The stories
share the
are
memories.
just great.
Absolutely.
Yeah. 1958 dealer award. So let's move on to the next room here in this big building and see what else you've done.
Absolutely.
All right. I've never seen crown barrels with cars on them like that from what, the 50s? Looks like 50 Pontiacs and Chevys. Really cool. So, do you know how many hours I spent leaning against the counter that used to be here waiting for parts? This was Ludwig Motors Parts Department. And the grouchy old guy behind the counter, Dutch Smale, who turned out to be a really nice guy, what do you want? And I'd stand here and wait for parts. You know, nowadays we call up, they deliver the parts. In the old days, we had parts runners. And we'd road test a car, or we had pickup trucks. Many of pickup trucks in this town wore out the driver's side door, running from dealer to dealer, picking up parts. And I used to stand right here waiting for parts at Ludwig Motors. So now they've opened it up. We got some cool old gas pumps. We got seating area and some more memorabilia in what used to be the parts department.
So being in the parts department, this kind of became a walkthrough to get to the bar and lounge upstairs. So we cut out a wall. We did some minor changes in here. The wall was major. And then I added a few of my favorite pieces in here. And I'll just tell you a little bit about a sign like this. This is really interesting. So normally you see the big 60 or 72-inch porcelain signs. You see them all over the place. They made millions on the highways. Porcelain, 99% of them. This one is a cardboard. It's like a composite cardboard, and it's a really rare sign because it's a wartime sign. Once the war started in '39 and the metal drives started, a lot of the sign companies went to alternative means of making their product, and this is a great example of it. Signal Gasoline is a West Coast gasoline. You could see a little pieces missing here of the cardboard, but one of my favorite pieces in here because it's a wartime piece and it's just really hard to find. You can, like a 72-inch Texaco sign. Everybody sees them. They're all over the place. Golf sign. They survived because they were porcelain. And porcelain, if you don't ding it, you don't hit it, you don't run over it, it's going to look perfect in 80 years. And to find a piece like this made of cardboard in this good a shape is a really, really rare piece. And then we got little tire holders, stuff you'd see at a gas station that you would want to buy. Over here, I put a few things. A good buddy of mine is a guy named Dick Miles, and he's from here. He's a two-time Norton World Champion motorcycle racer. He's a fantastic guy. He was here for our opening. And he used to set up at Hershey, and he'd have his sign painter guy paint these signs. And this is old school lettering, all original cardboard, and I absolutely loved them. It's hard to get stuff off of Dick, but I did score a few of these for the club. He knew what I was doing. He appreciated it, and he let me get a few pieces out of his collection from the club. And I just put a few other little toys and trinkets that were in my collection. But I mean, how do you get past this? You know, genuine 50s era hot rods, top quality. So this was hanging in his booth in the 70s at Hershey Swap Meet. I just love it. So I decorated a little bit with that. And then a few other pieces. We got some signs up there, an old diagnostic machine, which is fantastic, and it still works. I don't know how safe it is. I plug it in every once in a while, but the blue screen turns on, and you got the little stuff going across the screen. But I don't do it for long. I'm worried about a fire with that old puppy. And this is a typical room here in Red Horse.
But the parts department, where they stored the bulk of the parts, is upstairs,
That's
which
right.
is now the club,
Yep.
bar, is that what you call it?
Yep,
Lounge?
The bar and lounge.
Bar and lounge, and that's where we're going next. So come on, let's go.
Let's go.
Does it look like I'm in a parts department?
No.
It's not. This used to be where they had a bulk of the heavy parts for the Chrysler dealership, but now this is the lounge. And it's unbelievable. The atmosphere, the signage, the walls. I hear there's a story about the wood on the walls, guys. How'd you do that? I mean,
Yep.
It's definitely not from Home Depot.
No,
I can tell you that.
No. We started out, it took about a month at least to clean out just this room. It was all metal racks covered in raccoon dumpings, and
Right.
it was pretty gnarly.
Right,
So a month at least of just getting everything out of here and being able to breathe in here.
right.
And then I kind of wanted to put something together that was kind of different and special, and I know a rare wood dealer, so I went to him and talked about this project and brought him out here. And what you're looking at everywhere, every single piece of wood in this room is from a carriage house in Philadelphia that was taken apart in the carriage house was built in 1862.
Wow.
And this is all virgin wood from 1862.
What was it before? Cement block? What's behind it?
It's all cement block.
Cement
behind
block,
here.
so you just went over it.
Cement
It's
block
beautiful.
everywhere, and the beams on top.
Right.
And then, of course, the ceiling we didn't touch.
Nope. You don't need
Nothing.
to.
We did
Looks
nothing
good.
to the ceiling. You could see all the original wood. We put in, of course, the new AC system and the ducting.
Right.
But the real show here is the wood, including the whole back bar is original, and everything that started it is these angled beams. I went into his warehouse, and he had, they took 33 18-wheelers it took to remove the wood from this carriage house on Broad Street in Philly. When he got the contract, he won the bid, and I walked in, and there's wood stacked everywhere. His name's John Doherty. He's in Philly. And I saw those angled beams, and I went, man, that's a back bar. And we started talking.
The
and
bar is just beautiful. How
This
about the
wall-
bar itself?
bar is a beam, what he said was 30 feet in the air.
Oh my gosh.
So every single piece in here, including the wood that we painted, the planking that's on the walls, it's about 4 inches thick originally. So
Wow.
he skins both sides
Okay.
to get the original sides.
Right.
And the center planks are those that we painted. So even the painted wood is from 1862.
Wow. And again, the memorabilia. And the
Yeah,
old-
we got a few. I didn't want to go crazy with the gas and oil up in here, but
No,
I got a
that's
few
right.
rare beer signs.
Yeah.
And then I had Rich is in the back bar right there, my bartender. He helped us get the bar together and the kegerators. And once you start building a bar, you realize how intricate it is, because this piece has to be 36 inches, and that's got to
Sure.
be 42 inches.
Sure.
And I knew nothing about that. So
Yeah.
luckily I had Steve and John Doherty, the wood guy,
Yep.
and guys like Rich to help me put it all together, help us
we-
put it all together.
And we got the Red Horse glasses. We got the Red Horse coasters.
Oh, you know it.
And there's more stuff coming.
That's right. And
Excellent.
we have shuffleboard over here, you can see.
Okay.
So if you want to have a shuffleboard tournament up here, you can play some shuffleboard. We got
Foosball.
foosball because I'm a foosball nut. And then let me show you over here.
Well, I see one thing left from the old parts house.
That's right. So the original Ford Whippet
oh my gosh. The horse
lift
slides all the way on this beam.
all the way down.
Wow.
And it goes out this door down to an outside garage that you said you've seen them load engines.
They used to pick the engines up out of the trucks, hoist them up, and slide them right in. Well, I mean, hook them to this and slide them right down and stack them up. The big heavy engines and transmissions and stuff
Yep.
like that. Yeah.
And although we did everything in this room, this
Unbelievable.
still works.
Do you find a practical use for it?
Yeah, we bring the beer kegs up with it.
There it is. It's still being used. Awesome.
So that's it. So this is now the new lounge at Red Horse.
It's really nice. You did a great job,
Thanks.
Steve. Chuck.
Thank you.
So we got more to see, folks, so tune in.
All right. So here we have a 10-foot double-sided original dealership sign. And the beauty of signs like this is you could see the Pontiac head on the top. Pieces like this that were most likely a one-off order from a dealership. This is the only one I've ever seen. It doesn't have a name on it, you know, like Ludwig or something. So most likely it was just a one-off order. It came out of, oh Lord, I think Montana or Wisconsin. And I saw the guy that bought it, and I had been trying to make a deal for about 8 months, and it just never would go down. And then finally we came together and we made a deal, and it became part of the Red Horse Club, or the collection. But pretty spectacular
really
looking
neat.
neon.
I never saw nothing like it either.
Yeah, great
Yeah.
piece that we have
Probably
here.
on the top of some building, and we have another Pontiac one back there. That
Yep.
is unbelievable. What?
Now that's a double-sided, another Pontiac Neon, and
Really
that with the original flasher, and we took the flasher out, lubed it up with some WD-40, put it back in, and it works perfect. That's the original flasher, flashing the bottom arrow, and glass was the dealership, and that's a Pennsylvania company. So that was, I think it's out west Pennsylvania, an original dealership Neon.
That's really neat. So tonight we saw neon signs, we saw cars, we saw memorabilia, a lot of Petrolia. And now we have a motorcycle. Chuck, come on, what year is this? I mean,
This is
never saw nothing like it.
Yeah, a Survey car, 1947 Harley Davidson Survey car, pretty much untouched, original paint. I had my artist that I use. Everybody's got their pinstriper that they love, or graphic artist. So I kept all the original paint on it, and then I had my artist paint on top, the graphics on top of it, roadside service.
Wow.
These bikes were used for as fire bikes, police bikes, ice cream. The gamut, they were used.
So 1946?
47.
7?
Yep. And then, of course, I'm a collector, so I always want original stuff. And this is Marion and Bob.
Marion and Bob.
And they're in original Harley Davidson weather suits with original hats, original gloves, belt, everything. So it's just a nice display.
We were talking about that earlier. You know, everybody has the cars, but it's important to have the memorability to go with that era.
Yep.
So if you have a car from the 40s or a cycle from the 40s, it's cool to collect the stuff from that period, and this is an example of it. And you know, you talked about pinstripers.
Yep.
And you pinstripe the cycle.
Yep.
So what's going on here with pinstripers? I heard something about.
Yep. Our next big event, we're just getting started here at Red Horse, but our next big event is September 28th and 29th. Being in the antique world, you get to know a lot of guys in the sign painters and pinstripers world. I've been working with a guy named Igor in Virginia Beach for over a decade now, and I'm doing a gathering here of sign painters, pinstripers, and artists that deal in everything car related.
And
So,
that's September 28th and 29th?
Friday, September 28th, we're having a VIP meet and greet the artist party here.
Okay.
With Dibs and the Detonators band, Rockabilly band.
Get out.
Fully catered. Big party here. You can come in, you can get your car striped, you can buy a piece of art, you can meet the artist, have a beer, have fun.
Oh my gosh, that's just unbelievable. And a car show too, or?
So Friday the 28th will be the VIP party.
VIP party,
starting
Friday the
at
28th. Mark this down.
Yep.
Important.
That's right. 5 p.m. on Friday, and then all day Saturday the 29th. Come on by, check out our club, look at the art, get something pinstriped, get your race car done, whatever you want.
Okay.
You also don't want to forget about the drive-in movie theater that we have
Oh, yeah.
outside that'll be playing.
What?
Yeah,
Come on.
real quick, on the outside of the building, when we put the sound system in, and we put a pretty incredible sound system in here, we
Right.
have a 15-foot outside movie theater that goes on the outside wall.
You're
so
kidding me.
Every night game for the Eagles, we'll be having the Eagles with a bonfire out there. We're going to have drive-in movie theater nights. And Friday night during the party, we got something special we're going to put outside for people to watch.
Oh man, you guys got to mark that down because it's going to be really a good time here at Red Horse. I want to thank you guys for the unbelievable job you did and the money that you're invested in this town, Pottstown. The history of this building and everything you've done is awesome.
Thank
so
you,
thanks a lot
Awesome.
for
Thank
coming
you.
on Car Stories.
Thanks, Mike.
And I'll be here for that party.
I know
and
you
the
will.
drive-in.
You better.
All right.
All right.
Absolutely.
For more than 60 years, my family's been selling Chryslers right here in Pottstown. We've made a lot of people happy and satisfied with good deals and great service.
You'll love the Ludwig Motors deals on the all-new Voyager for 1991, and you'll love our great selection of all the 91 Chrysler, Plymouth, and Dodge cars and trucks. Every model is here, and we're dealing.
Come see us at Ludwig Motors. I guarantee we'll make you happy too.
Well, that's all for tonight's show of Car Stories. And remember what Dick Ludwig used to say, we'll make you happy too, here at Red Horse Motoring Club.